Hi, g'day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from all around the world. Welcome to Starbase Flyover Live number 19. A little bit of fog around this morning, but it seems to be lifting, so should have some really nice images today again. See the lads are all rugged up there, ready to go for this cool morning flight. It's about 10 degrees above freezing. So I guess it'll be close to freezing once you get up to 6,000 feet. Fred and Mauricio there, incognito with his balaclava on. Ah, you want to announce that in chat there, Matt?
Yeah, we got our first super chat from all four for $5 saying, glad to get this started for once. Much appreciated.
I suppose I should introduce you, Matt. Matt's doing our donations and questions today, so good morning to you as well.
Yes, good morning, all. Really excited for this flyover, ready to see everything.
Yeah, we'll get to see the new outlines of the new expansions at the launch site. Obviously, it's probably one of the biggest things this week, and hopefully we get some good images of Booster 18.3 as well. Now it's cut in half. I don't know, spent every time someone says, will they reuse that boosted 18.3 top? We go, no, they don't normally do that, but looks like they are actually going to reuse the top of that 18.3 test tank, which is interesting. 19 from the air, yeah, wouldn't mind, yeah. And the other big thing to look out for is booster 19 at Massey's as well. There we go. Now we're taxiing along. You can see he's got takeoff flap set. You can see that in the. Is it? Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe that's what I'm seeing there in the shadows. I might even be able to see it just there over their shoulders as well. Quick look at flight radar. Oh, they won't show up on flight radar yet, I bet. Whoa. That,
Yeah, they hadn't scrapped 18.3's common since we did a flyover, so hopefully it's not.
You see the grid fins?
What?
You see the grid fins in your flyover?
I haven't had the chance to really look into it. The pictures have been busy with work. To be honest with you.
oh, that's boring. What?
Yeah.
I know.
There's two chilling by ibuprofen that were being unloaded in when Caesar was on like one of the shots you can see they had just set up, and then there's towards the end there's one with some out of their, except they look strangely like the OG grid fins, so
Might be
kind of
old ones.
curious. But they were fresh unloaded off a trailer, which was odd.
Where did that ibuprofen go again? I don't remember.
It's look where they built the OLM right there by the
right.
edge.
I wonder if that means we'll see some grid fin testing. Or, I mean, probably not grid fin, but like Matt's saying, grid fin motor and grid fin motor mount testing.
We had a quick question from John T in the chat asking if the change in TFR will make a difference to the views we get. As far as I know, it's still 2,000 over Massey's, 5,000 everywhere else, isn't it?
I haven't heard any changes. Yeah, we've done our run ups and mag checks, done a pre takeoff checklist done. It's time to head out on the runway and take off.
Those do look old.
Right?
Design. They look the same. They look the same sizes too. I think those are old. I don't know why they have them, but they're definitely the old design.
Right? But yeah, it's weird that they were just fresh dropped. You could see them where they're before they were unwrapped in one of his shots.
Yeah, I
And
definitely would have. I would have gotten more into the pictures, but everything decided to break this weekend at work. So you get when everything starts to break as a maintenance controller, you get busy.
And away we go.
We're airborne, yeah.
hopefully the 11K Massey's isn't doing what it does best of blocking nice, good angles.
Well, now that you say it now, then whoever's watching over there has time to get it the heck out of the way for us.
Right?
Thank you, Space Watcher, for the 1 gifted membership.
All right, I've got you on flight radar now. Still no images come through yet.
John T. No, it is 2,000 feet above Massey's, 5,000 everywhere else. But we actually like to stay a bit above that. So whenever they're around Massey's, they're anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000. And over the build site and launch site, we stay around 6,000 just to be safe.
Yeah, about nearly a nautical mile up. I think a nautical mile is like 6,050 feet. A flight tracker or a November 22014? Or is it November 22 Oscar 14?
Are you using NATO or using which Alpha Fanatic?
I just wonder if that 0 is a 0 or an O.
Yeah, it's a 0.
It's usually you have a second letter in your radio numbers, but not always, I guess.
I'm not surprised 19's still around. I'm curious to see how many more tests they'll do with it. It's already done 2 basically full cryos. Plus, boy, did they run the valves last night.
A big thanks to Rocket Scientist for sending 5 gifted memberships.
Cool, pretty good turnout again. Got 20 odd over there in Discord and nearly 150 odd there in chat. Awesome.
Yeah, just remind me while I don't track any of the vehicle testing stuff.
Here we go, some images. Yeah, SpaceX storage lot at the airport. Seems to be quite the trend around this southern Texas plant, those sort of palm tree type things. Oh, lots of photos. Oh, there's a little bit of fog out there, but it looks like it should be okay. Although some of these images will be brightened up in post. I'm not sure, are they new? I don't remember seeing them.
Which?
Oh, those white things near the concrete things. Well, a bit of banking. Oh, sorry. Just as I, sorry, Matt. Just as I, let me just zoom back in for you. Oh, what's in the box?
Late Christmas gift.
ZPMs. They're just hiding them from us. Because Block 4 Starship is going to be powered by 0-point modules with a hyperdrive. for those who don't know, you know,
Very good.
we don't need chemical rocket engines. Let's go to. We can get to the Pegasus Galaxy in like a day. Let's go.
Scrap all of our current understanding of physics.
Right. Subspace is real, right, Alex? Right? Isn't it?
Just, maybe if you get like Planck energy or I just want to know why the fine structure constant's what it is.
Punch it, Chewy.
We just need the city of Atlantis. You know, the whole city, flying city that can travel between galaxies. Yeah, that's what we need. That's all.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, we got Zach back this weekend, at least for most of the show anyway.
Most of the show?
Most?
Yeah, it's going to be on you,
Yeah.
Alex, to finish it off.
Oh, that'll be easy. I'll just put everybody to sleep.
Start talking about exactly what they need to do to all the land that they've got. Exactly, detail by detail, what they have to do to it.
1D combustion analysis.
Or better yet, explain exactly, step by step, how the ASU works.
Or step by step what every pipe in the tank farm does and how they go from the fuel goes from the tank farm to the rocket.
Yeah, detail out the spaghetti.
Start with the Carnosa. We'll start with a basic treatise of thermodynamics and work up from there.
Nice. These are the laws of thermodynamics.
We'll have a brief excursion to talk about Boltzmann's brains, which is one of the greatest thought experiments of all time.
Also, for anyone saying that it takes, I know Proxy said this in the chat, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to the Pegasus Galaxy using the ZPM. It depends on the hyperdrive you're using. Details.
We can do better.
Yeah, it's like, we talking the Asgard one? Are we talking an ancient hyperdrive? Because there's interstellar and intergalactic, Wraith. What? Yeah. Ori.
Coming up on 2,700 feet. Oh, look at that. Beautiful clear skies. The fog's definitely lifted. I mean, burnt, whatever you want to call it, disappeared at least. So, looks like a beautiful day for Flyover after all. ASU for dummies. Sign me up. There you go.
One tank left at the Port Connector Road. I finally moved them all.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
One cryo tank left, I should say. Those old water tanks are still there. But
I want to believe.
Are they going to make all of these methane? Because if they are, that's a significant increase in methane. Like,
If the small ones leave and the ribs ones stay, they will have a bit higher repumping capacity, all things being equal. And I think the outlets on most of these tanks are about the same size. Except the two special ones that they took to Massey's for safekeeping.
Plus, there's 4 new ones at the launch site, 2 at Massey's, and 1 still at Port Connector Road.
Yeah.
7 new tanks all up. Wow.
And a vertical one probably the liquid nitrogen tank for the SUs at Massey's.
Vertical one?
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's sitting right next to the 2 new tanks at Massey's right now.
And a big thanks to Felix for the $5 super chat saying, thanks for the JFK shot.
There it is right there, yeah. It's looking less and less like an aircraft carrier every day.
And more like Pat Scrap.
Yeah. But even that other one, the other one's getting cut down heaps quick too.
Still a lot more steel than that thing ever had.
Right?
I think it was. I think that had 4-inch armor plate on it. I
Well,
think.
like
But-
the flight deck is
It's an
double
armor.
duty. Is it
Yeah.
armor or is it structural? Or both?
Well, it's an armored flight deck. After we learned that, it'd be nice. It'd be good to put armor above your hangar deck. It might be smart to do that.
As long as you have a path out for wherever your ordnance bunker is, too.
Because I think it was the Essex was the last U.S. carrier that was designed to handle I think it was 6-inch cruiser gunfire. They almost made it. They almost armored it up enough to withstand 8-inch gunfire because they thought carriers might be alone at some point and they might need to defend themselves against cruiser gunfire. When it turned out the carriers were never going to get anywhere closer to a cruiser ever.
New. Well, if they did, you're having a very, very bad day.
That's I mean, Taffy 3 got hit by cruiser gunfire, but those were escort carriers, not S6, not fleet carriers.
Nice wide shots. Boy, it's turning out to be a beautiful day up there above Starbase, Texas. Well, connector right. Oh, there it is down there. Yep.
I see those massive heat exchangers and whatnot at that staging area for the LNG plant. It's always hilarious to see those things.
Yeah. Can we have like 2 or maybe 3 of those for the SU? Thanks.
Pull those fan boxes.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, there's one on there's a picture from someone took a photo from the ground of one of them getting moved along the road. They're huge.
Yeah, if anyone thinks Starbase is a big construction site, yeah.
Yeah, I think we worked out, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago when we were looking at them real close, that the just the radiators underneath the fans that are attached on the bottom are somewhere between 2 and 3 feet thick. It's crazy.
Ta-da, Starbase. How are we going? How high are we? We're at 4,200 feet now. Cruise along at 63 knots.
I'd say they're probably concreting more and more of Massey's Way. Wonder how much they've got done so far.
They still have a long way to go from what we saw on the other flyover yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're still putting in the water lines.
Yeah, they're doing it like section by section, and then they're covering it up if they have to move something.
Hopefully 39 and 19 will pass each other.
Speaking of Massey's Way, is that what we're looking at right now down there?
Yeah,
I
you can see,
believe it is. Yeah.
you can see some of the concrete on it.
Well, that means we should have Massey's photo. Let's see. Oh,
I like the frozen pools on the ground by the tank farm.
over here.
And Mauricio, just in case you're listening, make sure to get plenty of pictures of Massey's Road itself.
And the 18.3, yeah. Which is right there in front of us. Who's the 19? Go you good thing. Do the right thing. Go on.
Well, that's a refueling to nitrogen and a lux tank.
Oh, 3 nitrogen tankers and a LOX tanker, yeah. Are they other new tanks sitting there next to the old LOX tanks? Are they the high pressure tanks?
Yeah, they're the high pressure helium.
Yeah. Oh, a little vertical tank there, yeah.
That's
And if
perfect.
you-
Zoom in, we can see straight down 18.3.
And if you, Steph, you'll be happy if you zoom in that end heat exchanger in the deluge is MIA.
Oh,
Maybe
Where to go?
maybe they did more than just had a bad seal.
So speaking of B19 and the cryo test, Javine is asking, should we be worried about all those vents on B19 yesterday?
Nah, those are normal. All normal. Testing everything. There's a bunch of new hardware on this thing, so they wanted to test every single thing, which I'm glad they are. Please do that.
It's like
We
they're
saw a
smart or
lot of-
something.
we saw a lot of that venting. We've seen that before on boosters, older boosters sitting on the pad and that too. Remember the cowbells and that vent and all that when they were testing, like, I don't know, maybe booster 7 or 9 or whatever back in a while ago. Yeah, that heat exchanger, that little leak might have been more than just a little problematic leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know
Yeah.
it was removed in the flyover we did a few days ago, too. Yeah. Oops.
Perhaps if they're pumping dirty water from the sumps and using it, that might be a bad idea.
Yeah, well, there's some kind of decent filter or settling pond or something, yeah.
Wonder if they need all 4 to run that thing for static fire, or if 3 will be enough.
You just read my mind. I was just about to ask that question.
I mean, they used to have they have a spare one laying around. I thought it was over at the airport lot for a while.
And she sprung a leak. They did a test and it sprung a leak.
You know what they should do? They should just change that system over to the Raptor things.
The next gen.
Like it wouldn't be that hard to change it over. You just tap into the tank farm. It'd be that hard to do it, right? Or just bring in a bunch of high pressure. You already have the LN2 there. Just put in a bunch of high pressure tanks, and then just you would need like one, maybe two of those would be enough.
I'm not sure.
Well, definitely wouldn't need as much as they've got at the launch site. Like at least half of that, if not even smaller.
Put in two of them. The question is, and you can regulate the pressure with those. Oh, way better. So you put two of those in. It'd take a little bit to put the whole thing in together, but I think they could do it. I don't see. I think they should, but whatever.
Speaking of the leaky tank, All 4 is asking, could that tank have possibly been damaged during S-36 and SpaceX is just now discovering it?
Can't say it's impossible. I'm not sure.
Wasn't a whole lot of debris in that area, and where
There
it
was
was.
Yeah,
Go on.
I think there was a bunch of junk in that area. Let me go back and look.
I thought most of it landed in front of those where the old FireX tank was, because the FireX tank got quite a wallop. It's possible. Ooh, we're getting lots of down shots.
Can't quite make out the triangles down the bottom yet. We'll see how they come up after the post-production.
Which, the 3 on either side?
Yeah.
The far 3 are easier to see. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good Air Liquid have some good videos on the ASU process of their website, I believe.
El Liquid.
I could probably put one in chat if I had a second, but I'm kind of a bit busy at the sec. A link to it, I mean.
We have a show on Tuesday. You can ask pointed questions at.
Yeah, we'll do that Tuesday for sure, yeah.
Wink, wink, hint, hint. Know what I mean?
No. Well, could you explain?
You just did.
Oh, that is hilarious.
No, there was like almost no debris near those heat exchangers.
Yeah.
It's nothing. The large water tanks protected them.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's such a difference looking at the devastation there and then looking at what's there now.
I know, right? Well, here we go. So there we go. There's the first RG photos of the new boundaries for the launch site. Woohoo! Unreal, said the seal. It's so good to see, finally.
Methane Man says, I was noticing a new vent midway up the chines. Do you think that's the new chine vent location?
I did see that. I'd have to look at the vehicle again to see if there was a vent out of there, a specific vent there. I wouldn't be worried about it, but I'd have to go look at it again.
Would you be afraid of it?
Maybe.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Stephen Lewis is asking, will the ASU have its own tanks?
Some, but
Does
probably no bulk storage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't there supposed to be another one being set up by the tower?
What, ASU or tank?
Yeah, the tank next to the tower on the ASU.
Yeah, there's a vertical liquid nitrogen tank that's needed for starting it up. Initial scale down. And potentially it's sitting at Massey's currently.
did someone say grid fins?
Zoom in, right around there. Yeah, I think they're wrapped up again.
Yeah, they're blue by ibuprofen. And between ibuprofen and the mud flats, there's two blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right there. They wrapped it
Okay.
back up again for whatever reason.
Well,
I thought-
obviously they got a deal, but they shipped the wrong ones. Have you returned them?
You AOG'd the wrong part.
No, we needed the Mark II.
The first ship transport stand has been moved over to the rocket garden. That's nice. So it's probably ready for a ship. Ready for a version 3 ship.
Javine is wondering, do you think they will try to stack B-20 with the same pace as B-19?
No. I think they used a lot of extra manpower on 19. I think 20 will take a month and a half to 2 months. We'll see, though. I think it'll take longer, though.
I mean, it didn't take essentially 2 months to stack.
Well, it took a month to stack the booster, and they took another 4 weeks of post-stack processing.
Which, yeah, I'm part of it. I'm wondering is if there's much more of a dog and pony show.
I think a lot of that was because of what happened to 18, that they're like, we cannot afford this to happen again. So look at everything like 14 times over or something like that.
No, I mean like the actual stacking rush but a lot of the internal connections and that sort of stuff.
It may definitely have been a stunt to just say, hey, we stacked it in a month. I think 20 will take like a month and a half to 2 months.
A question from Choco Frog Light asking, is the eventual Starship Block 4 potentially more powerful than the original ITS concept?
Oh, I forget what ITS was.
Hilarious.
Or should I say, I forget what the thrust setting was for the interplanetary transport system.
Thanks for explaining the acronym there, Ryan.
Aspirational, I think, would be the right answer.
Liftoff thrust was going to be 13,000 tons. They'd have to get a lot more out of the Raptor 3 in order to hit that mark.
Wow, look at the size of those little diggers here compared to this crane sitting next to them. It's incredible. They're little tracks about the size of one of the track links in the big 11,000. That's incredible.
The LR 13K at 37. The 1220 helper crane looks like a complete toy next to it.
It does. It almost looks like it's too small to assemble it. It does. Yeah, it looks ridiculously small.
I can't wait to see that crane rise and start to stack that tower. It'll be blatantly obvious to see it from distance because of how big that thing is.
And it looked like they stripped the paint off the sphere, so yay.
I think that sphere's gone, yeah.
And it moved too, didn't it? It's actually not where it used to be.
That's why I think it's might stay.
Oh, because they didn't move it right off site.
They didn't just take torches to it.
No torches, yep, yeah.
They've basically destroyed most of the perimeter wall now. At least a good chunk of it.
Yeah, we should start getting a conveyor of friggin' sand trucks.
Sand, then dirt, then gravel, geotextile in, all that jazz, right?
Sand, graded fill, geogrid.
Now down this area, they've taken all the like rocks they had on the edge of the site along here. I thought they were breaking concrete, but it turns out it's just some of that rock that they had on the edge. But a bit further around, they're taking concrete as well. In other areas, there's that concrete slope. They seem to be taking the concrete away.
Kind of interesting that the Keller's mix soil mixer is moving towards the berm.
Down here, though, I think we saw. Hang on, I think we saw the jackhammer working down in this area, getting rid of that bit of concrete just along the edge around this area. The plant, they're moving the plant here. What?
The mixing, the soil mixer is moved towards that the previous shot, right around where your cursor is right now. It's not that.
How long will the break room stay? Because it's gonna have to go.
As soon as they get replacement.
I was about to say, I believe they'd replace it first.
Because
go on.
Well, I was also gonna say, alongside that, all that concrete area right behind Pad 1 is a great staging area for stuff because it's concreted, unlike the salt flats and marshes you have out there. So I'm kind of curious how long some of this concrete's going to stay until they actually have like a slab built somewhere, or at least like solid dirt built up somewhere before they can move more stuff in.
It was called out in one of the letters that they have to use pretty much the existing solid surface for their staging.
That makes sense.
So
Hey, once this new mega bunker's operational as an amenities unit, amenities building, I can see that triangle building going. And I think we were talking last night, wasn't Alex was saying this whole concrete area might stay for staging.
how's there's other solid surface. And currently it's the only reason I think the triangle building staying is actually for the Tesla chargers.
Okay, yeah.
When did all those boom pieces show up? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
gonna be a tall crane. They're making that thing taller than the tower. It's kind of nuts.
I mean,
to work on the top, that needs to be taller, doesn't it? I guess it's what's going on.
They're doing something up there. I don't know what. Maybe a new weather station.
That's what I was just about to ask, if we knew what they were doing yet.
A roof. There's some beams laying around and some stuff showed up on the.
So they're. She gonna put a roof on this time?
There's some beams down. There's some beams down there near the tower, and there's some
Right by that white truck by the isolation purging. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Some steel there and some steel over here, but still, it seems like a bit of an overkill just to pick that up as well. But I mean, this crane's probably going to hang around for a fair bit.
The steel over there are covers for trenches.
Oh, that's
And
right. You said that. Yep. For that pit here, like.
and don't forget, Tower 1, they're probably going to be lowering a bunch of cryo pipes and the high pressure pipes down from the top rather than threading it in. Yeah. Well, I mean, since they're replacing most of those lines, they're probably going to have to lift them from the top down. And eventually they're going to need it for the OLM, which we should start seeing parts for the next month.
Event Dudes in the chat says that they have that comms tower near the Triangle break room that might move to Tower 2 as well.
That'd be funny if they stuck that on top of Tower 2.
I think that has a weather station on it. There's sighting issues for where it can be.
They took another methane pump off, and it's sitting on a pallet. I don't know what they're doing here.
Someday they'll figure it out.
Good pin.
Cool. We can key them out and we can replace them with the right version. Perfect.
Beautiful views from the plane today.
Yeah, look at that view out of the airplane window. That's just supreme. Look at the color of the Gulf and the coast. It's beautiful. Don't know we're going to get any answers to any of our mysteries this week.
Which are they?
Things like the static fire stand, that new couple of new pieces they brought in near it. This triangle piece.
Breakover.
And these new pieces here.
HLS.
It's all
I mean, as in they wanna do an uncrewed landing on the moon in 13 months.
What are you talking about? It'll be done in 9.
They've it is now public. Their date they want to do it is March of 2027 for the uncrewed landing.
There's some new. Yeah. Right there is another mystery piece.
Yeah, which may or may not fit on that piece.
It's a breakover.
That may actually be that now. Yeah. We're not gonna say that.
Of course we are.
We're not saying that.
It's the new thing.
It'll jinx it.
No matter what it is, it's a breakover.
Yes.
Back over the launch site. Cool. What did you say? There's another methane pump missing again.
Yeah, it's on a pallet. It's literally on a pallet sitting between the two. They took the third pump off.
There's 2 of them they've been working on.
Oh, I thought that pallet was what brought the new motor that made the methane farm complete. But that was wrong.
I think there's one of the other ground photos from the other day. I think they had pulled the entire drive assembly on one of them.
Oh, that one. Ah.
So you don't need to know in the chat has a question about the production site. They're asking if you follow the road between the office and the new parking garage structure has a line that continues out into the wetlands. What's up with that? And if I'm not mistaken, that is decades old, is it not?
Yes, and I thought they said they didn't need to know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
That's been there forever, that little road. That before the hurricane came through, whatever, that was, yeah, actually a road, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the extension of, yeah, St. Martin's Boulevard. Because remember out here, there's like hundreds, and out here, there's hundreds and hundreds of, marked out properties out here. And out here, there's, oh, no, out that side, yeah, that side as well, yeah. But they're not obviously used. They never will be used now, especially. There's like heaps of gazetted roads and building blocks out here all over the place.
Yeah, Event Dudes put some good pictures of that kind of stuff up from time to time.
Yeah. The old book for where the launch site is was hilarious because there's gonna be canals and a little marina and sort of like across on SPI.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
around,
there's
so they have water access right around to SPI.
There used to be a channel there pre-hurricane.
Okay.
and then
And that
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that's kind of the funny ironic for protecting all this one hurricane. It will just rearrange everything in that area
Yeah.
since it's essentially a sand barrier island. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so Choco Frog Light is wondering, is there a possibility that the Gateway to Mars signs comes back?
Anything's possible at
Yes.
Starbase. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Excitement's guaranteed.
Waiting for a sign isn't that exciting stuff? Maybe in
Well,
Australia.
I wonder if that cyclone also actually moved the Rio Grande and changed the international border a little bit. I mean, it's always
Probably.
constantly changing the border a little bit anyway because it erodes and meanders.
If you got if like a category 3 hurricane or something were to like hit Starbase dead on right now, I mean, literally everything at Starbase would be under a couple of feet of water, depending on the storm surge, or several feet of water.
Y-
What?
Cat a Cat 1 just stalling right there would also just
Yeah.
it would
Oh, would be
it
any kind of hurricane or even a tropical storm hitting and either stalling or bringing a decent storm surge. Like the wetlands and salt flats would be changed forever, and Starbase would everything at Starbase would be underwater by a couple of feet or several
but
feet for that matter. It yeah, it'd be
but
bad for SpaceX.
but see, this is why you put everything on piles because even if the dirt underneath washes, the structure should be fine.
Yeah. Well, wait, no, the entire Star Factory will move then, right?
Well, don't get me started.
That entire structure will just float away.
Don't get me
Float,
started.
float away
it'll
like a
it'll
ship in the.
float. It'll float and slam into the Gigabay and Megabays. That's what it'll do. Yeah, that's exactly what it'll do. That's how physics works, right?
Oh,
Yes, all I know.
I'm getting airsick looking at the flyover video. Oh.
All I know is that there's houses near where I live that had more piles under them than the original OLM.
Like that Star Factory has 0,
Right,
right?
and it's the reason the mezzanine, I mean office, has a big expansion joint between the two of them because those two structures are not tied at their foundation level, so they're going to move at different rates. And
Which
heck, none of the columns in there are tied because most of them are sitting on just pads. It's
It's not a
wasn't
great
built.
design.
It's built like a warehouse. It's not built. Yeah,
It's not built like a factory made to produce precision components.
Looks like we're starting to get some glass on the front of the apartment building.
Yeah. In chat, who was that? Roman saying, incidentally, at Starbase launch site, they are assembling the tallest configuration we've ever seen of a LR11,000 crane.
not quite to their windmill configuration, but it's going to be up there.
And a big thanks to ODST Moody for a $5 super chat, saying, in his Patrick voice, we took Star Factory and pushed it somewhere else.
Yeah. ODST. I could go for some orbital drop shock troopers right now.
And
Looks Oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to say a little joke, a little throwback to the Monty Python. Kaufman says, I built a star factory, but it sunk into the swamp. So I built another factory, and it sunk into the swamp.
And the third one fell into the swamp and caught fire.
Yeah. Caught fire, burned to the ground, then sank into the swamp.
It looks like all the scaffolding mass that they put inside the trench is packed up. So.
Oh, cool.
There's
See, that's gonna more than double the size of the launch site, roughly.
I think
about double. It's about double, right? Give or take. Yeah. I'm just gonna call it. I'm just saying that they're doubling the size of the launch site because it's give or take. It's about double. So.
Yeah. Oh, what was that image just said? It almost looks like it almost fits the other way around. It's almost like the zigzag line through the center. It almost looks like you could actually just pick up the launch site, spin it around, and sit it back down again in the swamp area.
Spin the launch site?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, those words.
Spin launch. Because it's one of the greatest ideas ever.
Is it?
Yeah, they can make it work. If they can make it
triangle.
work, it'll be incredible. But the making it work part, that's
there's a slight problem, and it's called air.
Called atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, and drag.
There's atmosphere. That's the problem.
There's another one. It's called material science and molecular bond strength. Shocking things don't really like being subjected to that many G's.
You don't say.
Never mind. I started to say especially not human meat bags, but they aren't going for a crew launch yet.
That's why that's why what you do is you build magnetic acceleration cannons. You build MAC guns, like the ones from Halo. Those
nice.
Like Series 5 Max. The Series 5 Mac can chuck a 3,000 ton ferric tungsten around at 4% the speed of light. Yeah, that's what we got to do.
No, it needs to be proper relativistic speed.
50% then, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might need an antimatter reactor or two to do that one.
Not an antimatter reactor.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it with protons at SEER. Any. But yeah, scaling's a bit of a problem.
A bit?
What's going on the YouTube screen, Matt?
I'm just moving some stuff around real quick. We got a new cockpit cam.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
This thing's gonna look. This launch site's gonna look so much different when they're done.
Yeah.
Whenever that is, like it's gonna be like 3 years from now, but whenever they're done.
Yeah, but it's gonna have that whole Matthews vibe, where it's good. Parts of it are going to look really, really good, and then other parts are going to look super dated.
Like the original, even the LOX and LN2 tanks are going to look dated because of how much NOx and how much dust and NOx and other junk has fallen on them. You know?
Yeah.
Big thanks to Methane Man for the $20 super chat saying Magna Cannon, yes.
And no one believes that they'll ever be done.
I should have said done TM. Or done with quotation marks.
Done asterisk.
Yeah.
There's also an anomaly away from a construction job, a rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
to reimagine the site. Yeah, the skinny tank next to the two large ones is probably the LN2 tank for the ASU startup.
Yep. And Ryan, will also always be the perimeter road just not quite concreted up, just to annoy me?
Yeah.
Event is linked to what Fish and Wildlife landing page for the potential land swap, which I'm assuming would be for Massey's here. Since it's the only piece of property that SpaceX has that is directly bordered with Fish and Wildlife.
So for that spot to be concreted or for this triangle you're taking over?
That triangle.
Okay.
Heck, they could give it more. It depends on how strongly they feel about the moat.
Oh, they could fill in the moat. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're a excavator away from making that part of Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Literally, just block it there and block it here and open it there, and you've got Mexico.
Yes.
Well, it was Mexico not that long ago, probably a couple of years ago, a few hundred years ago, that was actually Mexico. Funny thing, so I won't go there, but the funny thing about, political borders, so not always been that way.
No.
It's actually kind of neat when you look at Rio Grande from above. You can see like bunches of little spots that have been cut off from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the interesting border things from the Mexican-American War is he didn't grab Baja California because it was just viewed as worthless desert for the entire Baja Peninsula.
And a big thank you to Rocket Scientist for a $50 super chat saying, "Stop trying to outdo me, Methane Man."
Please continue the battle.
Fight.
Yeah. What's the next one up?
Kind of
Oh,
hilarious
please.
how they're moving the dirt from this area because it doesn't have the same restrictions as other areas on this site.
Pretty straight lines, almost look like GPS lines.
They're just scraping the surface.
You're getting rid of all the vegetation and overlapping it, and then the fill starts coming in. Sand.
Yeah. Whole lot of sand.
That's going to take a while to bring in that much, and then to flatten it all out, and then to bring in the fill and flatten that all out, and then start doing like the geotextile and any rock and whatnot that's going up on top. I think what was it, limestone that they said they were putting.
Yeah, the equivalent of crushed limestone road base.
Yeah, and then comes the concrete slabs, which They'll put in what as they need it, and then said somewhere in there, probably after the limestone, or for that matter, once the geo grid is down, then they're gonna start drilling all the piles that they need for the tanks and everything else that where all that's supposed to go, and it'll take a while,
The
right?
tanks potentially will be different. Just because of, again, Tuesday, top-down construction. And it's one of the great reasons why concrete surfaces crack like crazy on this site. But
It couldn't have anything to do with the massive rockets that they move across them all the time. But
no, it's actually the subsurface. Since you can't dig up and compact down, you have a very limited, without raising the grade height too much. Because if they brought in like 10 feet of fill, then they wouldn't have to worry about the cracking. It's the thinness of the subsoil can't support the weight.
now that you mention that, I don't think we ever really saw them do on the old suborbital pad A that was that raised area. I don't think they ever really replaced much concrete up there other than right under the test stand. I think
Correct.
for the most part that was probably the original concreting.
Yeah, and the wick drains are frowned upon.
Interesting. They're putting those triangles down there.
And one leg of the triangle is just free floating currently.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there'll probably be a support down there for them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole reason they did the bottom plug on pad 2 between the sheet pile walls with the jet grouting was to minimize the amount of tendons they had to do to support the sheet piles for the excavation. The diaphragm walls that they built for here is also a consequence of top-down construction. And Gigafactory, where they put in the sheet piles, dug out some of it to basically compact it just to support the drill and forming the pile cap.
They cut the downcomer out of 18.3.
Yes,
Huh, that's funny.
Sharpie's.
but if you look, there's very little deformation on the common dome. So the failure mode was not related to the dome structure. Okay. Sorry, Matt. You were saying Sharpie?
No, you're good. Sharpie was just asking if the road to Massey's was fully paved yet. I think we're still only like a quarter of the way there, aren't we?
10-15% maybe?
Here we go. There's a photo of it. Look at that. Ask
No,
and you
good more.
shall receive. There
One
you go. It's
half,
up.
about one side of
Is
it is
that?
about halfway done.
Well, previously it was barely up to the high point
There.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Most-
like they've. Yeah, I think only one side goes about halfway. The other side stops at that high point, and then they'll probably set up and pour that other one. And then from some of the other pictures and reviews you got, they're still doing some water lines and other things. So they'll probably concrete the bend, and then they'll concrete the last stretch.
Oh, that's
After that.
concreted too there, is it?
No, it's not.
No,
That's still
Okay.
all
that's
dirt.
just yeah. The one thing I want to keep an eye out for is another trenching job for bringing in the natural gas line to the launch site.
hell on the highway. Actually, I was going to ask you that last night. I forgot to ask whether some of the pipes have already been seen getting installed. Maybe for one of them, may be for a gas line, perhaps. But I don't know. I'm only guessing.
I think that they would need a stainless, probably an 8 inch. You could do. I did the calcs before, like a 70 bar. So the high pressure, how you move bulk.
Steph, you should have
Would-
some pretty good straight down shots now. I think Mauricio is just taking them of the road there.
Thanks.
Yeah, because doing a natural gas line underground is not that impactful, like saying doing a cryo run or things like that. because
Yeah.
because we run natural gas lines all over the place, everywhere. So
There's an abandoned 8 inch, but if they're going through which would marginally probably handles their 50 launches a year, or 25, whatever they're currently allowed. But
Don't look at the concreting job here. Don't look. Keep your eyes closed. Don't look there.
Why? It dips.
Is it a dip or is it a bend?
It's a dip.
Dip.
I've spent far too much time behind bars pedaling to read road surf. Trust me.
I think even still, it won't stop B19 rolling back, but it's probably not going to roll back a little bit.
You can roll it back over that.
yeah. The biggest thing is are they done testing with it? I don't know how many more tests they want to do.
I mean, they were exercising the heck out of the valves yesterday.
Yeah. They're probably pouring over all that data now today. Or at least they'll probably do it over the weekend. And then see if they want to run another cryo on it.
And keep concreting around there. Go on, you can do it.
Go on, you can do it.
We believe in you.
They don't believe in stuff. They want to keep breaking her dreams.
Two rings now. Cool.
Did they paint them the same color?
Why is that tank still in there? What in the world's going on? Why isn't it out yet?
They have nothing to put back in its place.
Yeah, I suppose so, probably.
Like, the only reason to take that thing out would be to put it on a stand and either keep it at Massey's or roll it back to the production site and stick it in the scrapyard. But I think at this rate, it's just. I think what they're doing is there's no reason to move anything in and out of Massey's right now because they want to try to get as much of the road work as they can done. Once they take a pause for 19, we may see one of these other tanks or other things go back, either along with it or around the same time. But I think they're just trying to work on Massey's right now, the road.
I think it's weird that they're storing some of the tanks at Massey's and not at their port yard.
Or even the Highway 4 yard, even.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it have to be set on concrete?
No.
Okay.
It does look like there is a lift. There's a JLG up at the tank, like next to the tanks. Maybe they're doing stuff to them, and they wanted to put them at Massey's for some reason to do stuff to them. I don't know. And they just.
I mean,
well, actually, here's the thing: they can't roll them to the launch site right now. The 11K's in the way. The 11K they're building.
There's that. They need to put down they need to drill and put the piles in. Um.
And that drill's a bit
Oh.
busy at the moment.
Oh, but it looks like they're planning on moving that small tank
Yeah.
on the SBMT. Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the new
Blair.
ones too, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
Is it?
I-
Maybe. I don't know.
I guess they could move it. The 11K, their building's actually not really in the way. There's enough room. There won't be enough room once they put the boom together on it, though.
Yeah.
Once they start the main boom on that thing, they won't be able to do it. But it's taken them a while to build that 11K because it came without the tracks attached, which was kind
Oh
of
yeah.
odd. Yeah.
Now
It came
the
all pieces.
Steph, this vertical one's going to the ASU.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll get a Massey's to ASU closure at some point here.
it's a single wide, so they might just yellow it.
Oh, here you go. That's going to be an awesome shot with the high res. Wow.
Except those two booms are blocking.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They're like perfect in that shot.
Like this is gonna be. Oh, I could just heard the deflation in your voice.
That's fully sick.
Yeah.
So could that new thing in the water deluge, could that be something to do with a new start, like a new, system to start the water deluge system running, perhaps even?
Considering it's tied directly into the COPV testing area. Dubious, but anything's possible.
Through that line that line over there.
Yeah.
Are they tied in, are they? I didn't think that was tied in yet.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, hey, a third LOX pump showed up. The motor.
Yeah.
One more to go.
You guys had that in your images, I think.
Yeah.
And that it's still not. They're using the old pumps for this test.
And aren't there 2 out of 3 that are hooked up?
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. What? Dentists?
Yes.
Do you have that ad too? 2 out of 3 dentists recommend Colgate.
Yeah. Exhaust one rebel, no matter.
We have that ad too.
If this
over
was
here.
the
We used to.
50s, it would be 2 out of 3 dentists recommend Camel.
I think that's your doctor
Yeah,
at the end of your appointment recommending you switch to Camels from your or filtered from your non-filtered Camels.
A bit of ice still in it, what you're saying. So that's frozen water?
Yep.
Yeah. And water's from the melted ice, from the condensation on the tank?
Yeah, and who knows? They could be venting cryo right on the ground too. Could they have? They used to have those ground vents. I haven't looked to see if they still have them, but that's a pretty big plot of ice.
We had Ron Smith with a $5 super chat saying, "Thanks for the shots. Wonder if they will still have to test the COPVs now that they bought the company that makes them."
They'll probably still test them.
I think this is a different company than they were using that they bought, but
It is amazing that it took this long for SpaceX to finally decide to make their own COPVs in house. I mean, they bought a company to do it, but I am surprised it took them this long because, like Firefly, they make them in house. So it is kind of surprising it took SpaceX this long to get to that point, considering how much money they have and how many rockets they build. I'm shocked it took this long.
well, they don't have a lot of composite engineering in a lot of their products, so I'm glad they bought knowledge. But yeah, I mean, COPVs are everywhere and everything. Every Starlink has a couple.
Every Falcon 9, every Starship has them. The Falcon 9, the main booster has it. The second stage has it. They have them everywhere, literally
Yeah,
everywhere.
every Starlink has at least one. I don't know if
Yeah,
they.
for I think for the Argon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the Hall effect. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Which there's another use for your ASU right there to take the Argon off and use it to power your Starlinks.
I mean, it's a nearly 900 ton of Vox is being produced at their ASUs. So you, what was that? 1/20th of that, or no, it'd be 20th of it would be argon or crude argon.
Which that's a
Which
lot of
is
Argon.
it's not a small
Yeah.
amount, yeah.
That's a decent amount of Argon. Like what they could basically do is they could bring the Sats to Starbase, and they could charge the Argon COPVs at Starbase, then load them up in the loader, and then load them up onto a ship, and then launch them, all using stuff gotten from the ASU. The only thing they can't get from the ASU, basically, to launch it is the methane. That's about it.
Yeah.
If they're still using helium in places, that is.
Well, the size of ASU they have there is right on the cusp of being very economically advantageous to collect the other rare gases, for kryptons and your xenons, and
But how much helium could you get?
yeah, I'd have to look
The-
up the fractions. The thing with those is you can't purify those from distillation. You have to send them out.
oh yeah.
Or
So
you
makes
need a
sense.
more special. It's fine though. I mean, you just tanker it up and you just send the feedstock to a lab, specialty lab for doing it. But so what Air Liquid built is building a 9,000 ton plant somewhere else in Texas currently for I think Chevron.
So
But yeah,
Liam Edwards is wondering, will there be any Starship launch sites elsewhere from Vandenberg and the Cape?
I believe there was EIS for one at Vandenberg, and then there's obviously Slick 37 and
There's
39A.
there's no
they have
EIS for Starship at Vandenberg right now.
Was there? Maybe I was getting confused with the
no.
increased cadence.
Yeah,
That was
there's Slick 14. Their Space Force is trying to is put out, which would be to get a super heavy, which I think is hint hint wink SpaceX,
or
and it's
blue.
a
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pure greenfield too, and it's closest to their port, so the air conditioned venting there is hilarious.
All right, we've landed. Well done. What was an awesome flight. Looks like they've had an awesome amount of really good images today. So that's going to be really good show and tell, and it's going to be a really good live stream on the Sunday.
Sunday.
Cheers, Ryan and Alex, you make my job real easy there, talking away for me there. That was awesome.
You know,
But
or
Snare Chat was
useful.
just saying Falcon COPVs are in house already. Speaking of COPVs,
I don't
who's
remember if
Capsa
they
said
are.
that. Capsa X is saying they're
Hmm.
usually pretty accurate with their info.
Hmm.
It might be.
Yeah, lovely
I know.
views, that's for sure. Can't wait to see the high res.
We all can't wait to see the high res.
I say thank you everyone in chat for joining us today. There was just over 200 people. Lively sort of chat going on and awesome donations. That was amazing today. Thank you for all the extra fuel money. That'll definitely be used wisely with fuel. Thank you for the airplane and of course for the pilot as well. A few expenses goes on with the flyover besides fuel, so that's going to help heaps with that. That's amazing. Good on yous. And once again, thanks Ryan and Alex for chatting away. And whenever you're ready, Matt, I guess we can sign off now.
Sounds good. Yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate all the super chats and the interest. We will be having the show and tell a little bit later, guys. For those who are in Discord, we will be posting that up probably in a few hours, what time we're pointing at. I'd say it'd be somewhere between 4 and 7 p.m. Central. And then for the rest of you, we have Starbase Weekly coming up at the same time, 12 p.m. Central, tomorrow on Sunday. So other than that, we appreciate you guys again, and we will see you then. Love, peace, and starship.